Discover how a billionaire changed this poor girl's life with a single incredible gesture. In the dim light of maple trees, Maya stood by her window, watching her mother stumble wearily up the porch steps. Each day, it was the same wearisome scene. Emily, her single mother, wore the exhaustion of 2 jobs like a shroud. They lived in a small, frayed house that sang of love but echoed with the weight of unending bills. As Maya brushed back her unruly curls, her heart thumped with a mix of admiration and a painful longing for a better life, one where the sound of laughter didn't feel so far away. Maya dreamed fiercely of becoming a nurse. It was a wish born from the heart. Her grandmother needed care, and she wanted to help. Yet every time she daydreamed about her future, it felt like chasing shadows. In Maple Grove, a town swallowed by whispers and judgment, dreams often faded like the setting sun, too beautiful to hold. Then came the community fair, a yearly celebration where the sound of merriment tried to drown out the weight of reality. It was a blur of carnival games and sweet treats, bursting with joy, but for Maya, it became a reminder of everything they couldn't have. As she wandered through the huddle of laughter, her heart clenched at every gleeful shout. And then, like a sudden thunderstorm brewing, Sam, a billionaire with a notorious past, strolled into town. Clouds of doubt followed him as residents muttered and gossiped. What business did the man who left them for wealth have in Maple Grove? But Maya's breath caught when he stepped onto the makeshift stage that day, surrounded by ringing laughter and hissing popcorn. "Today, I'm offering a grant," he announced, his voice slicing through the air, "for a deserving student." Gasps rippled through the crowd like waves battering ashore. Maya's heart raced, and hope flickered in the eyes of those around her. Could this be a chance? Her mother shifted uncomfortably beside her, terror and disbelief washing over her. She couldn't help but think, what was the cost of accepting help from a man rattled by privilege? The sharpness of tension hung thick as Maya felt the energy shift. Suddenly, the atmosphere filled with contrasting whispers. Some cheered, eyes glistened with hope, while others frowned disapprovingly at the idea of accepting charity from a man so different from them. Maya's heart pounded. Could one act of generosity really change their lives? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Conflicted, Maya watched her mother's expression turn grave. It was a struggle between a mother's instinct to protect and a daughter's burgeoning dreams. The room felt heavy as her mother finally whispered, "This isn't for us, Maya." The cheers from the fairground faded away. Maya stood in a storm of her own uncertainty. Could she risk their unity for a chance that felt divine? And could Sam demanding a second chance amid his own tangled past truly weave a different story for them all? With dusk creeping in, she wondered, was accepting this help a betrayal to her family's pride, or the first step towards her dreams? As the stars began to peek through the darkening sky, the pressure mounted, leading to a decision that could change everything. What would she choose? Maya's heart raced as she stood at the edge of a crucial moment, her mind a storm of doubts and desires. The soft glow from the streetlight outside seemed to cast shadows on her thoughts, pushing her toward an answer she wasn't fully ready to face. "Mom," she murmured, searching her mother's tired eyes for clarity. "What if this could change everything?" Emily sighed, her gaze shifting from Maya to the distant fairground lights twinkling like a million little stars of hope. "Maya, you're not just taking money. You're tying your future to a man like him. He has his own agenda. You don't know what strings come with this offer." "But what if it's not about him?" Maya pushed back, voice trembling with urgency. "What if it's just a chance for me to help Grandma to help us?" The silence stretched between them like a tightrope. Emily's frown deepened, pulling at the corners of her mouth. She was protective, she always had been. It was her duty. And yet, the thought of Maya seizing an opportunity to escape their struggles tugged at her heart. "Every day we make sacrifices," Emily said softly, her voice a mixture of defeat and resolve. "Maybe that's why it's hard to trust something that feels too good to be true." Maya took a deep breath, tasting the fear swirling in the air. It was daunting, every moment felt like a step into the unknown. There hadn't been many paths available to her in Maple Grove. Yet here, standing before this possibility, she questioned even more than her mother. What did she want? Was she willing to risk everything she had for a shot at her dreams? As the music from the fair faded into the night, she felt an urgency swell within. Maya decided to step away from the shadows of doubt, drawn to the illuminated crowd, despite the warnings ringing in her ears. The fair was alive, bustling with people who clung to joy amidst their struggles. Seeing a patchwork of families gathering, she felt her resolve strengthen. The buzz of the conversation around her spoke of both hope and skepticism. In that swirl of emotion, the clarity she sought finally emerged. Gathering her courage, she moved through the neckline of people, approaching the stage. The spotlight fell on Sam, who smiled with a charm that belied the whispers of his past. He was just one man, standing on a platform, yet he possessed the power to change lives. Suddenly he was gazing out into the crowd, a silence falling as he noticed her walking forward. "Excuse me," Maya called out, her voice trembling but resolute. "I want to be considered for the grant." The murmurs swelled instantly, curiosity and disbelief mingled, filling the air as Sam raised a brow, intrigued. This was it. The moment hung in the balance, a chance to redefine her destiny. Maya's heart thundered as faces turned toward her. Some looked on with hope, others with doubt, but she stood firm, refusing to back down. Each breath was laced with a mix of courage and fear. She was finally facing what she had dreamed of, but what would Sam say? He stepped forward, a glimmer of something unreadable in his eyes. "Are you certain, young lady?" In the depths of her soul, Maya recognized that this choice wasn't just about her future. It was about taking a leap of faith, not just for herself, but for her family and their shared dreams. With the crowd watching eagerly, she took a deep breath and nodded. "I'm ready to break free." As the realization settled over her, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that this decision would echo long after the fair ended. She stood at the edge of a new chapter, waiting for it to unfold. But as the crowd buzzed with electric anticipation, a familiar voice sliced through the activity. "Maya! Wait!" It was her mother, rushing toward her, desperation written clearly on her face. What new dilemma awaited them both? Maya's heart sank as Emily rushed toward her, the urgency in her mother's stride magnifying the weight of the moment. She could feel the prying eyes of the crowd, the whispers bouncing off the air like bouncing balls. But all she could focus on was the distress etched across her mother's features. "Mom, please," Maya began, but her voice was swallowed by the noise of the fair. The music thumped, laughter rang in the air, and the scent of popcorn hung sweetly in the breeze, yet it all felt like a distant world. Maya stood rooted, caught between her dreams and her family's fears. Emily finally reached her, breathless. "Maya, this could be a mistake. You don't know what you're getting into." Her voice was a mixture of frantic and pleading, echoing the concern that had poured from her heart during every conversation leading up to this moment. "I do know, Mom. I need to try," Maya insisted, desperation creeping into her tone. "We can't keep struggling like this. I'm tired of watching you hold everything together while I sit back and do nothing." "Maya." Emily's voice trembled. "Please, just think. This man, he can change our lives." Maya interjected, her frustration bubbling over. "You taught me to seize an opportunity, to fight for a better future. Isn't this what you always wanted for me?" For a moment, Emily faltered. Maya could see the ambivalence in her mother's eyes, a battle between hope and fear. Maya felt a flush of anger mixed with a deep-seated yearning. She wanted her mother's support, but she also craved freedom from their heavy past. I know it's risky, Maya continued, softer now, almost imploring. But if I don't do this now, I might never have another chance again. This isn't just about me, it's about all of us. The crowd shifted, their attention still focused on the two, the air thick with tension. Emily closed her eyes briefly, taking a deep breath as if gathering strength. Then, she opened them, vulnerability mixing with an air of determination. Okay, she said finally, her voice now steadier. But if you do this, if you go through with it, you promise me you'll be careful. You'll listen to what I say. Maya nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. I promise, Mom. I just have to excuse me, a voice cut through their intimate moment. It was Sam, now closer, the crowd parting for him like water. His gaze shifted between them, curiosity peaking as he took in the scene. Maya? He asked, an eyebrow raised in bemusement but also interest. Feeling emboldened, Maya straightened, brushing away the tears that threatened to spill over. I'm ready, she affirmed, her voice louder, filled with purpose. I want to be considered for the grant. The air shifted again, anticipation buzzing through the crowd like static electricity. Sam studied her for a moment, expression unreadable. Behind him, several onlookers whispered among themselves. It felt like a pivotal moment, the kind of moment that could tilt the scales of fate. Very well, Sam said after a pause, a hint of admiration warming his voice. Let us talk. Out of the limelight. Maya's pulse quickened. This was the moment she had dreamed of, yet doubt gnawed at her. As she turned back to her mother, a fleeting sense of fear washed over her again. Emily gave her an encouraging nod, eyes glimmering with quiet pride. Maya stepped forward, adrenaline surging through her. She was finally ready to face the unknown, to step into a larger world. But the nagging thought lingered in her mind, would this leap bring her closer to her dreams or pull her into a tangled mess? As she followed Sam through the crowd, her senses heightened. Everything felt surreal, the laughter, the lights, the hopeful faces surrounding her. What awaited her beyond the stage could change everything. But as she entered the tent, a chilling thought lodged in her mind. What if she was stepping right into a trap? The tent's flaps swayed gently, and the moment Maya stepped inside, the bustling noise of the fair faded away, swallowed by the canvas walls. It felt oddly peaceful yet eerily solemn. The faint glow of lanterns illuminated the interior. Long tables were scattered about, each adorned with paperwork and glossy brochures that hinted at opportunities beyond her wildest dreams. Sam gestured for her to sit at one of the tables. As she settled into the chair, her mind raced. She had envisioned this conversation 1,000 times, but reality was far more daunting. A nervous flutter made her stomach churn as Sam shifted through a series of meticulous papers, glancing up at her with an expression that was hard to decipher. Here's the deal, Sam said, his tone steady but lined with gravity. I need to know what you really want. Not what others want you to want, but what drives you, Maya. This is important. Maya bit her lip, pondering the weight of his words. She had always been driven by her mother's struggles, her family's memories, and a deep desire to lift them out of hardship. I want, she started, then paused, letting the reality of her wishes surface. I want to create something meaningful. Something that not only changes my life but helps my community too. Sam leaned forward, intrigued. And how do you plan to do that? You're still young. You have a vision, but have you mapped it out? Taking a deep breath, Maya pushed aside her nerves. I want to start a program for youth in our neighborhood. Too many kids feel trapped or think that their dreams are unattainable. I want to show them that it's possible. I want to help them find their paths. The air felt electric, charged by her admission. Sam's eyes softened as he listened. That's ambitious. But sometimes ambition can lead to heartbreak if it's not supported properly. Are you ready for that? Maya nodded resolutely, something igniting within her. I've faced heartbreak before. I know what it feels like to struggle. But I can't turn back now. I owe it to myself and to everyone who's counting on me. There was a moment of charged silence, and Sam's expression shifted. All right. I think you've got what it takes. But you will need guidance. This isn't just about the grant, it's about building something from the ground up with limited resources. Whatever it takes, she affirmed, determination flooding her veins. With each word exchanged, Maya felt a growing conviction that maybe this leap of faith could lead to something extraordinary. But the fear blossomed again in her chest. What if she couldn't carry it through? What if her vision collapsed as others had done before? Sam stood, gathering documents, ready to finalize their first step together. Their essay commitment involved, Maya. Are you prepared to give everything you have? Yes. She answered, her voice stronger now, buoyed by excitement and urgency. Outside, the fair's jubilation continued as though nothing had changed, but Maya felt transformed, teetering on the thrilling edge of possibility. As they exchanged details, her mind raced with the enormity of what this all meant. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from outside the tent, and the fabric walls trembled. Concern spread across Sam's face. What was that? He murmured. Before Maya could respond, the tent flaps erupted open. A masked figure rushed in, a wild look in his eyes, and pointed directly at her. You'll wish you hadn't come here. He shouted. Maya's heart pounded in her chest, disbelief coursing through her veins. In that moment, she couldn't help but wonder, had she stepped into a trap after all? Or was this the moment she would find her way out of it? Maya's pulse raced as the masked figure advanced, an aura of chaos surrounding him. The tent felt smaller, suffocating, as she registered the shock on Sam's face. What do you want? Maya managed, her voice shaking but defiant. It's not you I want, he sneered, eyes darting to the table piled with papers. It's what you represent. Sam positioned himself protectively in front of her. Get away from her. His voice boomed, authoritative yet laced with urgency. Maya caught a glimpse of fear in Sam's eyes, which only sent her heart into a tighter knot. Maya, Sam said, voice lowered. We need to leave. Now. But as he turned towards her, the figure lunged, reaching for the papers on the table. In a heartbeat, Sam grabbed Maya's hand, pulling her towards the entrance. She stumbled, her eyes fixed on the man, who was pushing papers aside in a blur of frantic movement. Why was he here? Was he only after her dreams? Are you okay? Sam's south face was close, concern flooding his features. She nodded, though confusion clouded her mind. Just then, the masked man erupted in frustration. You can't run away from who you are. You think you can change the world? You're nothing but a fantasy. Maya's breath hitched, and for a brief moment, she felt the weight of his words. It was like he had pulled a thread straight to her deepest insecurities. She opened her mouth to reply, but Sam tightened his grip, urging her outside. The noise of the fair assaulted her senses, screams mixed with the sounds of laughter, blending into a chaotic symphony. As they stepped into the open air, Maya turned instinctively, struggling to steal another glance at the tent. Behind her, the figure's frantic movements began to attract attention. Fairgoers, lured by curiosity, started to gather around the tent. Sam's fingers wove through hers, and he urged her forward. We have to get to safety, he urged. People will come. They pushed through the throng of onlookers drawn by the commotion. Maya could hear whispers pass through the crowd like a current talk of danger, a masked figure, a girl in peril. Do you think he knows about the grant? Maya asked, a chill of dread creeping up her spine. She had seen desperation, but this feeling was different. Let us not think about him right now, Sam replied, his voice firm. Focus on what we can control. They made their way towards the back of the fair, slipping behind food stalls and games. The smell of popcorn and cotton candy wafted around them, but it did little to shake her apprehension. Maya couldn't shake the feeling that the masked man's words echoed in her mind. Was she really just fantasizing? Could her dreams really help anyone? Doubts seeped in like rain through cracks in a wall, and her vision blurred with uncertainty. Finally finding a moment to breathe, they ducked around a corner, partially hidden from view. The ruckus felt distant, like it belonged in a different world altogether. Maya, Sam said, taking a step back to look at her. What you're planning is bigger than you. Don't let anyone's words shake that. She met his gaze, uncertainty battling with determination. But I'm scared. What if I fail? His grip on her shoulder steadied her. Those who pursue something great will face challenges. But you're not alone in this. You can rise above the noise. Their moment was interrupted by loud footsteps approaching, and from around the corner came a crew of fair staff, calling security. Come on, Sam urged, pulling her away again. As they sprinted into the throng, Maya realized that her dreams didn't just belong to her, they had already begun to weave into the tapestry of others' lives. But just as clarity dawned within her heart, they turned another corner, revealing a stage where a spotlight gleamed. Someone was about to speak an unexpected twist of fate. Maya halted, breathless as she recognized the figure standing there, the crowd's ecstatic roar intensifying. It was a billionaire, known for his philanthropy and passion for empowering youth. Do you want to come with me? Sam's voice snapped her back. She hesitated, glancing between the safety of the crowd and the potential for something groundbreaking ahead. Do you think he could help me? She whispered, both anticipation and fear coursing through her. Little did she know that this moment could unravel everything she ever believed about herself, or spark the journey she had always dreamed of. What would she choose? The crowd surged around them, a wave of energy that sent Maya's heart racing. The billionaire stood tall, his presence magnetic, drawing the gaze of everyone nearby. Maya felt the breath catch in her throat. This was the man whose foundation was known to fund dreams, to uplift the unheard. It felt surreal, as if she were standing in front of a legend made flesh. Come on, Sam urged again, his hand still gripping hers. But she remained rooted to the spot, caught in a moment that felt both fleeting and monumental. What if this is my chance? Maya said, her voice rising above the chatter. The thrill of that thought was intoxicating. Sam turned, his expression twisting into a mix of concern and disbelief. You have to be careful. He's just a man, and you don't know what he wants. Yet the billionaire's voice cut through their conversation. I see you. He called, the words aimed directly at her. The crowd quieted, weighty anticipation brewing in the air. I see the passion in your eyes. Come forward, if you dare. Maya felt the eyes of the crowd converge upon her, and with every heartbeat drumming in her ears, her insecurities surged anew. Who was she to believe she could stand before greatness? Take your chance, Maya, Sam whispered fiercely, pushing her gently toward the stage. This might be what you've been waiting for. Maya took a breath, her stomach twisting in knots. She steadied herself, squeezing Sam's hand one last time before stepping forward, painfully aware of each gaze fixed on her. What do I have to lose? She thought. The billionaire smiled, an inviting gesture that felt as warm as sunlight breaking through dark clouds. I want to hear your story. The dreams, the plans, share them with me. Let's inspire change together. A tremor passed through her legs, but she pulled herself up tall. I want to create opportunities for people like me. People who don't think they can change their lives. I want to help them believe, she said, surprised by the strength in her own voice. Beautiful, he replied, as the crowd erupted into applause. You have a vision. That's where it all starts. The excitement in her chest felt like fireworks lighting up the night sky. Maya could see Sam watching her, a fierce pride in his eyes, which only urged her on. But I don't know where to start. I've been so afraid of failing, she confessed, the weight of vulnerability bursting forth. Failure is just a stepping stone to success, he assured, stepping off the stage and closing the distance between them. What matters is your heart and your willingness to try. Together, we can forge a path forward. Maya felt warmth flood through her, the seed of hope taking root. Perhaps this was more than just a dream dwindling in the back of her mind, it could be a reality. But before she could fully grasp the magnitude of what this meant, an ominous shout broke the air. There she is. The masked figure emerged from the crowd, having tracked them down like a shadow. His voice was sharp, filled with anger. You think you can escape your fate? The assembly lapsed into a stunned silence. Maya's heart dropped as fear gripped her. This moment, so full of promise, was slipping into chaos. Maya, stay behind me. Sam shouted, positioning himself to shield her once more. Now, with her chance at a new beginning tainted by danger, she stood at a crossroads. Could she fight through the fear that threatened to engulf her? A whisper escaped her lips, what do I do now? The billionaire and Sam shared a glance, and the weight of her future pinned on the choices they would make in the next few moments. Would they confront this intrusion together? Or would fear drive her backward, away from everything she ever wanted? The answer would change everything. Maya's heart raced as the masked figure loomed closer. The crowd of onlookers turned restless, murmurs rippling through them like wildfire. She glanced at Sam, his posture tense, his protective instinct apparent. Stay behind me, he urged again, his voice low yet fierce. He was ready to fight, ready to protect, but Maya felt something deep within herself shift. I want to back down, she whispered, surprising even herself. The words held more power than she expected. The billionaire stepped forward, his presence calming yet commanding. Why are you here? He demanded, his voice steady, aimed directly at the intruder. You have no place at this moment. The masked figure laughed, a harsh sound that grated against the crowd's tense silence. You think you can shield her? She's running from her past. I'm here to remind her of who she really is. Maya flinched at those words. Unwanted memories surged like a tidal wave, but she fought to keep her ground. This was her moment. Don't listen to him. The billionaire said, his gaze piercing through the noise. What matters is who you choose to be now. You have the power to define your future. Future? The masked figure spat, stepping forward. You think it's that simple? You can't just erase your past. I can't erase it, Maya found her voice, stronger now. But I can reshape it. I can choose how I move forward. I won't be chained to it anymore. The crowd erupted, support rising like a tidal wave around her. Each clap, each cheer felt like a boost, wrapping her in a blanket of courage. Exactly. The billionaire nodded, a smile breaking across his face. Embrace the strength within you. Stand tall. With renewed determination, Maya took a step closer to the figure. You don't own my story. You don't define me. Where do you think you're going? He sneered, but the uncertainty started to creep into his voice, a flicker of doubt. Forward, she said, her heart pounding with every word. I am going to create a future for myself and those who feel trapped like I was. You'll see. Foolish girl, he scoffed, but there was less venom in his tone. I'm not afraid of you anymore, she declared, her resolve solid. You're just a part of my past, and I'm ready to move on. The audience gasped, the energy crackling in the air like static. She turned back to the billionaire, whose pride was palpable. I'm ready to fight for this dream, she said, eyes gleaming, filled with hope. And fight we will, he replied, stepping to her side, a silent promise that she wasn't alone in this anymore. The masked figure hesitated, clearly unsure of how to respond to the collective strength radiating from the crowd. This isn't over, he muttered, backing away, the impact of her words weighing on him. The energy shifted. As he faded back into the crowd, Maya felt a sense of liberation wash over her. The danger hadn't disappeared, but it had lost its power. She turned to face the audience once more, her heart glowing with strength. "Let us do this together," she shouted, igniting a passion in the crowd as they cheered her on. The moment had transformed into something greater than fear. It was about empowerment, about dreams shared. But just as the excitement started to settle, a loud crash echoed from the back. The darkness was returning, and the fight was far from over. "Everyone, stay alert," the billionaire warned, his expression shifting to focus. Maya's heart sank at the thought of another confrontation. What would it take to fully reclaim her life? How far did she need to go before her past was truly behind her? With adrenaline coursing through her veins, she steeled herself for whatever came next. Would this be the moment she truly began to reshape her future, or just the beginning of an even greater battle? The crowd gasped collectively as the loud crash echoed again, this time closer. A figure emerged from the shadows, knocking over barriers, sending bystanders reeling back. Maya's heart raced even faster. Fear flashed across their faces, but determination sparked in her own. She couldn't let this moment of fear take hold. Not now. "Everyone, stay back," the billionaire commanded, stepping in front of Maya protectively. He took a deep breath, drawing on his evidently rich experiences in high-stakes negotiations. "This is our moment. Let us face it together." The masked figure, now more defined against the night, lifted his head just enough for Maya to catch a glimpse of his eyes. Rage. Desperation. But beneath that, something darker. Was it fear? With the crowd behind her, she felt a rush of power flow through her. "Why are you doing this?" she shouted, her voice strong despite the tremor within her. "You want to remind me of my past, but you're only fueling my drive to change my future." Around her, the cheers of encouragement swelled like a tidal wave, infusing her courage. "Listen to her," the billionaire shouted, his voice booming. "She has the strength to transform her life. We all have that strength. Don't fear the challenge, embrace it." The masked figure hesitated, confusion flickering across his face. For a moment, the fire of his anger almost dulled. Maya stepped forward, feeling adrenaline surge through her veins. "You think that you can threaten me? My past? You're wrong. We're all victims of our circumstances, but it's what we choose to do next that defines us." Suddenly, the audience erupted with shouts of agreement, establishing their unity. Each face illuminated by the glow of hope, they stood shoulder to shoulder together, stronger than their individual fears. "Let us not waste this moment on anger," Maya continued, her voice unwavering. "We can rewrite all our stories, but we must start with courage. Who is with me?" Cheers rang out, an anthem of belief and resilience resonating through the air. The masked figure backed away slightly, visibly shaken, his confidence faltering. Yet even as they united, there was more chaos. Shadows loomed, a sign that more trouble was impending. Amidst the cheers, another crash echoed, panic rippling through the crowd. "Stay together," the billionaire shouted again, his eyes scanning the approaching figures. "Defend what we stand for. Protect this moment." Maya felt a chill rush down her spine at the sight of more intruders moving toward them, intent on disrupting their gathering. But she couldn't back down now. She took a deep breath, focusing on the momentum building around her, and whispered fervently, "Together. We're stronger together." As the new figures emerged from the darkness, Maya positioned herself beside the billionaire, their shoulders touching. She could see that the crowd was ready. Their hearts echoed in unison behind her. This was more than a fight for her past, this was a defining moment. The threat loomed larger, but so did their conviction. Maya's resolve hardened. "Let us show them what we're made of," she declared. With those words, the crowd shifted, ready to act. But as the new wave of chaos approached, Maya felt a sinking dread take hold. How much more would she have to face before she could truly reclaim her life? Would the strength they found together be enough? The tension in the air was thick, anticipation wrapped tightly with fear. As the storm of darkness threatened to engulf them, she vowed not to let it take the light she fought so desperately to protect. But would they all stand united when the shadows closed in? The shouts and cries swirled around Maya like a tempest, wrapping her in a cocoon of urgency. The figures advancing toward them were a mix of shadowy menace and aimless chaos, creating an atmosphere thick enough to cut with a knife. Every instinct within her screamed to flee, but the thrumming pulse of the crowd lifted her spirit. They trusted her. "Remember why you are here," the billionaire roared, grounding her with his fierce gaze. He focused on the throng. "Keep your eyes on me. Focus. We are going to rise above this." Maya glanced at him, her heart pounding in synchrony with the rhythm of their unified breaths. A wave of warmth surged through her, as if their collective determination could form a protective shield. Taking an unsteady step forward, Maya raised her chin and called out, "We've faced worse than this, and together we can face anything." One of the masked intruders stepped closer, and shadows danced across his contorted features. His eyes glinted beneath the mask, filled with confusion, not the unwavering fury she'd expected. Could it be he felt trapped, just like so many they had faced? She leaned into that thought, tapping into the shared humanity within them. "Look!" Maya shouted, gesturing toward their growing unity. "These people are standing with me, with you. What do you truly gain from this chaos? Is this fight worth letting that fear destroy you?" The man faltered, his body tense yet uncertain. Maya felt the electric charge of potential around her. 1,000 heartbeats united stirred in defiance of the encroaching darkness. Yet suddenly, the rest of the masked figures surged forward, eyes fierce and intentions glaringly clear. The billionaire pulled her shoulder back gently, but something inside Maya ignited. "What are we waiting for?" she yelled, throwing herself into the fray. "Now is our time to show them we won't back down." The crowd followed, ignited by their collective resolve. Maya could feel a powerful energy flowing between them, a surge of adrenaline that leaped from one person to another. Shouts of courage erupted, drowning out any remnants of fear. But before they could fully connect with the strength enveloping the moment, a loud bang sliced through the air, startling them all. One of the intruders had thrown something into the crowd, a firecracker? Maya flinched, heart racing, and watched as a plume of smoke spiraled upward, creating an ominous cloud. "Stay calm," the billionaire shouted, raising his hand to command their focus once more. "No one breaks formation. Stay together." Maya took a breath. This wasn't just about her past or the shadows coming for reprisal. This was about all of them. They were each tangled in their own stories of resilience. Rising together meant transforming their fears into a rallying cry, a combined refusal to be victims any longer. "Let us show them how bright we can shine," she called, and in her chest, something surged, a glowing certainty that they would fight for hope, not destruction. The masked figure blinked, uncertainty flitting across his expression as he hesitated. But then, just as quickly, chaos erupted again, the sound of shouts, a scuffle behind them, splintering the moment. The firecracker had drawn attention, and reinforcements for the intruders were closing in fast. Maya felt the ground shift beneath her, appending everything she thought she knew about hope and strength. Could they truly stand together when the moment was so precarious? "Where are you going?" she whispered to herself, clenching her fists. She didn't want to fall. Not now, not after all this. And yet, here they were, teetering on the brink of something monumental. As the crowd surged forward, one thing was clear: the resolve in her heart ignited a hope she hadn't thought possible. She couldn't give in. They couldn't either. But what would happen when they faced the darkness head-on? Would the fear overshadow their bright resolve, or would they emerge victorious in this battle, claiming their own light? That question lingered hauntingly in the air. Maya's heart thundered in her chest as the smoke slowly began to clear, revealing the chaos that had sprung up around her. The crowd surged, a thrumming mass of bodies filled with energy and determination, yet the uncertainty loomed like a thick fog. Fear pulled at each person, it was almost tangible. But in the mix of shadows, she sensed a flicker of light and unwavering strength she hadn't anticipated. "Remember who you are," Maya yelled, her voice piercing through the confusion. "You're here for a reason. We cannot let fear define us or push us into darkness." The words poured out, each syllable stirring something in her heart. She could see it reflected in the faces around her, apprehension beginning to fade, hope in its place. Beside her, the billionaire stood tall, his stance resolute. "We stand united." His voice boomed, vibrating through the very core of the crowd. "Every one of us here has a story, a reason to fight. Let us pull together to lift each other up." Just as tension began to give way to resolve, the masked figure shifted again, his uncertainty now replaced with desperation. "You think this will change anything?" He roared, but his voice faltered, showing cracks in his bravado. "Yes," Maya replied fiercely, stepping toward him, empowered by the surge of collective strength. "This is a movement for all who have felt voiceless. We will not retreat, we will not be broken." The onlookers began to cheer, their voices rising like a swelling wave. Amidst the cacophony, Maya glimpsed a shift in the masked intruder. For the first time, doubt crept into his eyes. Perhaps, just perhaps, he wasn't the villain but another person caught in a web of his own past choices. "Join us," she dared to say, the challenge igniting in her. "Be a part of the solution. Your voice matters too." He hesitated, and in that moment of silence enveloping them, the energy around Maya crystallized into something profound. "We all have the potential to change," she continued, her heart thrumming with conviction. "No one is forever trapped by their troubles. Together, we can bring healing instead of pain." A flicker crossed the man's mask, shadows receding as he gazed at the gathering cacophony of hope. More than anger or chaos, what was growing was the very essence of community, the groundswell that could dismantle darkness. She could sense the tide changing. Suddenly, he bowed his head, the defiance in his stance wavering. "Change ain't easy, it's messy," he whispered, almost to himself. But Maya stepped closer. "No one said it would be perfect. But every step toward change counts. We've all made mistakes, haven't we? We've all been lost at one point." As the truth hung in the air, vulnerable and raw, the crowd connected. They nodded affirmatively, faces illuminated with recognition. The masked figure took a step back, confusion etching deeper lines into his wary expression. "You might not understand what you're asking of me," he murmured, the vigor of chaos in his demeanor now hanging by a thread. "Then let us understand together." Maya reached out a hand, courage radiating from her fingertips. "Let us talk. Let us bring each other to light. It starts with one step." After a long pause where time felt suspended, the man lowered his mask, revealing a face marred not by malice but by experience. Fragments of stories untold haunted him. "I don't know if I can change," he began, the regret in his voice carrying weight. Maya shook her head. "You don't have to do it alone. None of us do. But together, we can start rewriting those stories. You showed up, let us transform the reason why." A collective gasp erupted as his shoulders slumped, the weight of years of struggle easing. "Okay," he whispered, fragile but open. "I won't fight you anymore." The crowd erupted into cheers, waves of positivity swelling like an unstoppable force. Maya's heart soared, and she grinned as she witnessed the shift. They had transformed fear into a bridge between the past and a hopeful future. And as the battle settled, leaving only the echoes of their shared triumph, the billionaire turned to her, eyes alight with admiration. "You've done it, Maya. You've shown us what it means to truly connect with one another." Tears prickled Maya's eyes, a radiant smile breaking through. "We did it together. This is just the beginning." We have so much unearthing to do in ourselves and within our community. The night widened with possibilities, lights glowing through the dusk like stars emerging after a long storm. Together, united by truth, they stood strong, a tapestry woven from courage, vulnerability, and the belief in something greater. As the crowd began to disperse, laughter and reassurance filling the air, Maya felt a warmth settle over her heart. She glanced at the faces of everyone around her, a mosaic of hope. Reality was that they would face setbacks and triumphs. Yet tonight, they had taken the first step. Dreams painted on a blank canvas awaited them. "What will you do next?" the billionaire asked. Maya's heart thrummed with excitement. "I'll fight for those dreams. I'll help heal this community with every ounce of love, and I won't do it alone." She turned to the crowd that had gathered around her, their expressions glowing with resolve. "Who's with me?" A resounding cheer erupted, shaking the ground beneath them, echoing into the night sky. She knew now, beyond doubt, that together they could chase the shadows away. This was their moment, and they would seize it. Now. Before you go, don't let this moment slip by. You need to subscribe now to ensure you catch our next exclusive stories that will inspire you even more. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm and keep these powerful narratives thriving. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. We're building a movement here, and only true fans like you understand the importance of supporting our journey. Jump in.